This is actually my first video. I'm gonna be teaching C language. So I'm just gonna make an introduction to C language. This is actually about coding. So I'm just gonna write that here. C language. C language. And this is a very good language for coding. It's a very good coding language because it's very fast, and we all know C is a little bit tricky, but it's very fast, unlike Python. And in most cases, if you're trying to build a website and you want your website to be very fast, you can actually do some part of that website. You can write some part of it with C language, and you can use Python for some other parts that is not really that important. So that's why we have so many languages because different, each language they have their own weak points and they have their own weak area. um because of this, that's why we have so many language. We have Pascal, we have Rust, we have Fortran, we have Python language. We also have C++, which is actually object oriented. So each the reason why we have a lot of language, because some people might actually ask that why do I why do we have so many languages and they don't follow the same logic. It's because each language have its own weak area. There are some things you can use C language to do. uh, that's why they have to bring out another language like Python language and Rust, and I think also Java. So there's so many programming language, and I think C language is actually a middle level language because it's very close. It's a little bit closer to you know machine language. So what actually happened is that C language is being compiled, so it's not like Python that is high level language. When we say level of language, let me talk about level of language. So when we have a level of language, is where we have level of language. When we talk about level language, we're actually saying how far the language is from machine code. We already know that machine code is between 0 and 1, so it's between 0 and 1, but we can't understand this. It's very difficult to write in machine code, so it's very, very difficult. Let's say you're trying to build a calculator program and you need to write this code in 0 or 1, so you need to do so many calculations, so many calculations just to build this program. So because of this problem, we try to introduce another language which is a little bit closer to human language, and once we write in this language, it's going to be compiled into machine program. So that's why for C language we need a compiler, because what you're actually writing, machine doesn't understand it. It needs to be compiled to 0 and 1, which is the language machine understand. So this is the reason why we have high level language, middle level language, and low level language. Low level language, those are 0 and 1, the machine language. Middle level language, C is very close to machine language, that's why it's a little bit difficult. especially for those who write in Python language. Is kind of tricky for them to be able to understand um, C language at first, but as time goes on, you get used to the pattern and how it's being written. And since you know, C language is very close to machine language, is very fast, so there's no there's no a lot of stages of compilation, since it's closer to machine language. So much you get compiled quickly to machine language, unlike Python, which use interpreter. So Python needs to be interpreted because Python is far more closer to English. Because when you write in Python, you see a lot of English, words in it, like append, you know, like pop and all that. You see a lot of English words in Python, unlike C language. C language doesn't have a lot of you know, a lot of English words, which make it easier to be compiled to machine language. So the level of language I was gonna write here was actually about when we have low level low level language, then we have middle level language. So I'm just gonna teach, what I'm gonna say is how to understand this language. So it's not about cramming code, it's about understanding how C language actually behave. So let's continue from here. Middle level language, that's where we have C language here, and low level, that's the machine language. And I think high level, that's where we have this in some cases they actually see C language to be between low level and middle level language, but high level we're going to be seeing Fortran. So I think Fortran is in this is here, and Python is it. You don't really need to learn all the language. You don't excuse me, you don't really need to learn all this language, but you need to be good at 2 or 3 depending on what you want, because each language have its own area. So these are the languages, and we're gonna be starting C language. So first of all, the most important thing about C language is to understand the structure and how it's been done. And in my next video, I don't want this video to be too long, so this one is just going to be the introductory part. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about the structure of C program and the terminologies, when we talk about arguments, when we talk about functions, commands, and all that, main function, preprocessor, directives, and all that. When we talk about that, I'm gonna be explaining the terminologies and what we need to know. This is the best way for you to understand programming. It's all about understanding programming, then you can do whatever you want. So it's like you want to do something, let's say I want to write a program that is going to take a simultaneous equation, and it's going to give me the value of x and y, and the problem is, how do I tell computer this is what I want him to do? That's the problem. That's why we need language. So it's very important, because computer can actually do many things, in fact everything, except you don't know how to say to him, how to explain to him what you want him to do. So just subscribe and follow this channel. I'm gonna be posting the next video. Thank you.